Welcome, everybody, to We Geek Podcast. Today is January 10th. It's episode 125. My name is Adam, joined by my good friend Logan.
Hello.
What up, man? And this episode might be a little bit short. I have some things that I have to do this evening, and so we might have to be cutting it a little bit short. So it'll be a little bit shorter than normal, but we're still going to talk about the games that we played, the movies that we saw, the books that we read, the movies that Adam couldn't see because he lost his movie pass. Oh, and what a nightmare that was to get a new one that should arrive in a week or two. But we'll talk about all of that. How's your week been, man?
It's chaos still.
Chaos. Oh yeah. I imagine. Still busy at the theater, huh?
It's wound down there because everybody's back to work and back to school and all that stuff's over. But yeah. Everybody stayed home, so now instead of going out to the movies, they're ordering pizza.
Right.
It's one or the other, and I mean we had playoffs this weekend. I mean we had the Panthers game, so that was nuts, and and then we had the national championship game the other night. It was just, it's been insane.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, I imagine that was crazy, man. What a finish to that game. Oh.
Ay.
I had no dog in the fight, but man, doesn't matter because UCF is the national champion. According to Rick Scott.
According to the official proclamation. Yeah, it's an executive order or proclamation or something. It's bizarre.
Oh, it's so bizarre.
Look, they make a good case, though. I mean, it's like Hawaii from a few years ago when they went undefeated, and they didn't get anything. And they were just like, what the hell are you talking about? We won everything. How does this make any sense?
Exactly. We beat the team who beat the two teams that were in the championship, right?
Yeah.
Oy vey. But yeah, so that's been fun. Orlando's been having a lot of fun. Everyone's been downtown. Everyone's got their UCF. And I mean, I'm a UF fan, but it's my hometown, so of course I'm going to cheer for them when they're in it like that. So, but yeah, man, it's been crazy.
Yeah, much different party than the Browns fans had. That's for sure.
Oh my goodness.
that was magical. And screw every player who was like, these people aren't real fans, blah blah blah. Like, you're not listening, man. You're making $12 million a year. Of course you're not listening.
Right, right.
But when I heard that they got like the last $8,000 that they needed to fund it came from Excedrin.
Oh, wow.
That killed me. That absolutely killed me. I thought, oh, that's beautiful. That's so much.
That's so perfect.
But and it wasn't just like they showed up going, we hate the Browns. They showed up and just kind of commiserated and celebrated, and they did, like, they turned it into like a makeshift food drive / charity fundraiser at the same time. So it was a good thing all the way around, and you gotta have a sense of humor when your team goes 0-16.
Exactly. You gotta laugh about it. You gotta, be with your community and, lean on each other and have a few beers and bratwurst and, just kind of, take the piss, I guess. And that's it. That's all you can do. Hopefully next year they get some people that aren't crazy and fly out to Vegas and, all that stuff with Johnny Manziel or whatever. Yeah. So hopefully they get some good people on their team and management. I mean, I don't pay attention that much to it, but they have to be shifting some management around or something, right?
I mean, look, when things go that wrong, those problems come from the top. That's not players. That's very rarely coaching issues. Like, that stuff comes from on high.
Yeah. It's not just been a bad season. It's been
a bad, franchise, basically.
Franchise, yes, absolutely. Oh, man, yeah.
I kid the Browns because I'm a Steelers fan, so I have to.
Right, yes.
But just, I feel those are, like, it reminds me of Cubs fans You know,
Yeah.
they're like that takes a diehard commitment, and I raise a glass to him for saying, you know what, yeah, but I'm sticking with him.
Yeah.
My hat's off to you. It really is.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. No, that Cubs. That's the only professional game I've ever been to. So it's up in Wrigley Field a few times. So
Nice.
that's been fun. Yeah. I wouldn't call myself a Cubs fan, but I had fun watching them play those few times. So, but yeah, no, it's funny though because outside of that city, everyone trashes the Cubs. But when you go to Chicago, like that is it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Everyone's a Cubby fan.
Nobody's a White Sox fan.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's Cubs everywhere. Like.
Yep. Yeah, there was a brief moment in the 90s where there were some White Sox fans, but that's it. Yeah, exactly.
Then that faded.
Yep, that faded away. Absolutely, man. But yeah, no, my week's just been, it's just been busy, busy, busy. And I lost my movie pass. You know, stupid me. I thought, okay, well, I'll put my ID and my bank card and my movie pass in because I have a phone case that has sleeves where you can put that stuff. And I was like, I don't have to take my wallet because I hate going to the movie theater and putting my wallet in the rest, you know, because I don't like sitting on it there for 2 hours or whatever.
Yeah.
And some point in time, by the time I get home and the next day, it was one of those things where I didn't like go anywhere. Like I didn't need to go get food or anything else. So I didn't need to reach out for my cards or my wallet or anything for like a day. And then I went to look at my wallet and I was like, oh yeah. I took my stuff out, and for whatever reason, my ID's on my counter. No bank card, no movie pass. Thankfully, it wasn't like stolen where someone went and took money or anything like that for my bank card. So I canceled my bank card, got a new one. And the movie pass was the one complaint about movie pass is it is crazy for customer service.
Oh,
There's no number.
It's terrible. Oh,
yeah.
God, it's awful.
I had to open up a chat, and it was like, hey, leave your thing on, leave your notifications on so you know when we get back to you. And then like an hour later, hey, how can I help you? And then I was like, hey, this is a problem. They're like, well, they'll be sent down in a week or two. And I'm like, all right, well, there goes half a month. But yeah, so no big deal, no big deal.
It's not as bad as Sprint customer service, at least used to be. I don't know how good they are anymore, but I know they were like number one for worst customer service for a long time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I used to work for them, so I know.
Ooh, I'm sorry. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, but at least you could call someone there. But
True.
Yeah,
that's, Movie Pass is all chat, and it's not really great chat either.
Right. It's like Google, you know, when someone has an issue with their Google stuff, who are you going to call?
Ghostbusters.
Yep, there's literally no one you can call.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true.
There is zero customer service with Google because they don't care about helping you. They just want your data. So anyway, we'll get off that subject, I guess. but yeah, man. So I don't know. It's just been, I don't know. I've been having fun playing some games. There's a lot of games that I just didn't finish that I still want to finish. You know, I even picked up Breath of the Wild again, and I've been just plowing through that. That game is just so massive. Sometimes it's daunting where I put it off for months because all this other stuff started coming out. And I've just been kind of tackling through that again. And, I don't know. It's been fun. Where were we? Okay. Yep. So let's see here. So let's get into some movie news and TV and stuff, and then we'll jump into some of the movies and stuff that we watched and liked. And you know, it doesn't have to be like a top 10 list or anything, but we'll just kind of shout out some of our favorites for the year and talk about them.
Yeah, my plan is like I'm looking at the Wikipedia page for 2017 in film, and I'm just gonna go down it and be like, oh yeah, that one's fun. We'll talk about that for a second.
There you go. Yeah. Yeah, I think this year you saw more movies than I did, and I probably played more games.
Oh, you played way more games than I did.
Yeah, so we'll just kind of switch back and forth. Yeah, because, I mean, there's Coco, there's Jumanji, there's all these movies I still want to see, but I just haven't yet. Let's see here. And I was all ready to go, man, too. It was one of those days where I did not eat anything because I was like, nah, I'm going to get a big thing of popcorn, butter, Coke, Coca-Cola, that is. And
Although...
Right. And so when I'm getting ready to go and I'm grabbing my stuff, that's when it all hit me. And I'm like, no. Oh yeah, but anyway.
It's gonna be great when like you find it between the seats in your car in the next day or two.
That's what I'm telling you. The day it arrives in the mail is when. No, yeah, I went through my car, I went through all that, but the real disaster of where it would be, because like I have a lot of drawers with just junk in them and stuff, and I don't know, just a little. And I keep thinking to myself, why would I take my cards and put them in a very odd place? Because I'll find myself like opening up boxes within drawers, and I'm like, why would I even put this in here? Why am I searching this? It makes no sense. If anything, it would have fell somewhere. And so, yeah, it's just, I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's gone. Who knows? It might have fell out of my pocket when I was moving around my phone. And that's the other thing, man. I got my screen cracked on my phone. I need to get a new phone, and I'm at the part where, do I pay a lot of money to get my screen fixed, or just get a brand new phone?
Yeah, I heard people at work talking about that the other night with the different phones they have, talking about how much it costs, and I was like, God, just don't drop your phone. If there's ever an incentive to not drop your phone, it's not to not break it, it's to not have to pay for it.
Well, sure. Yeah, no. And the thing is, I have like a really good case that closes and everything else, but it was I don't like the magnet in the cases because it screws up the screen. But when my phone fell, the case blew open, and of course it landed straight on the design, on the front of it. And I have I have the lucky iPhone 6 Plus, the ones that were bending a little bit between the volume keys. And essentially what was happening is, for like years you could return it and they would replace it because of whatever. But I think it's been like 3 or 4 years now since it's come out. So I don't know if it's still under warranty. Probably going to end up getting a new one. But yeah, so that's another thing that I have to and it's frustrating because I'm going to get it and be like, oh great, I have a phone again, and just spent a shitload of money to have something I had last week.
Right.
I hate that. Like I want some, like, give me like a phone with 3D technology or some random shit that I don't even know about. But anyway, where were we? Sorry, I'm a little off track. Let's get into some movie news. Because we got a little bit this week. It's been a slow week. I imagine a few weeks after Christmas is just going to be slow for a lot of news. Let's see here. We got some Thor Ragnarok. Disney released screenplay online for award season. Also released screenplay for Coco, Beauty and the Beast, and Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
Yeah, so if this is your thing, like I know I'm gonna check them out, but they're up there. They're free downloads. It's just, hey, here's all the press packets for stuff, and here's the script. So
nice.
Like, okay, cool. Like, that's interesting.
Now, the original script?
It'll probably be the shooting draft. Like, it'll be the final script. And I don't know, some of them actually, like, every once in a while you'll find scripts officially released online that will have, like, different versions for revisions. Like, some of them will be the white pages, and some of them will be green pages, and, it's just, it's interesting.
Yeah, it'd be cool to look at, like, the Last Jedi script at its different stages.
Something like that would be fantastic.
Yeah.
Just to see, like, the official revisions anyway, because you'll never have, like, what happened in the pitch versus what made it to the screen. But
right.
I would love to see, like, the white pages versus the actual shooting draft. Like, that'd be great.
Oh yeah, because I saw Mark Hamill post on Instagram or Twitter or something like that. He posted a picture with Laura Dern, and he was like, I hope our and I don't know if he was just joking because it's Mark Hamill, because every part of me is thinking he's joking, but he's like, I hope that our scene, our deleted scene or whatever, is on the DVD. And I was thinking, how could that
exactly.
Possibly, and I'm thinking he's just trolling fans.
I think so. I think a little bit, yeah.
Because that blew my mind. I'm sitting there like, well, wait a second. Like, you could see above me the clocks start turning really fast and a bunch of equations, and I'm like, how in the world could this happen? Yeah, so I don't know, but yeah, it'd be cool if there was a script where it was like, no, we took, instead of taking a left, we took a right.
Right. And also just to see, like, even with the shooting draft, you'd still see the scenes, you'd see the deleted scenes.
Right.
Because they'd all still be in there. They'd have still been shot.
Yeah, so that'd be cool. Let me know if the Last Jedi gets thrown out there, and I'll definitely.
It's interesting because it's on the page as part of the press stuff, but the screenplay is not included.
Oh.
There's a couple that are like that. There's The Last Jedi, and there's something else. I think it's like Cars 3. That was another one where the screenplay wasn't included.
Did that movie already come out?
Yeah, like it's been out and gone. I mean, Thor. Oh, wow. I mean, hell, Thor's still in theaters.
I know Thor's in theater, but I didn't know Cars 3 already came out.
Yeah, it's been out and gone. It's out. I think it's out digitally by now. Even might even be on Blu-ray by now.
Well, oh wow.
It wasn't too bad actually. I was impressed.
Damn.
Well, because 2 was 2 is one of those that we don't speak of kind of thing. So,
yeah, never saw it.
Yeah, no, you're better off. Don't waste your time. 3, go if you can go from 1 to 3 and not miss anything. Like 2, I don't think offers anything worth anything really.
Yeah, I just remember seeing the trailer and him like crashing, and it's like, is this the one or something? Or something like that. Like,
yeah,
it was very dramatic.
It is, and it tells a good story. And there's a great like the way because the whole thing is like a redemption arc and everything. This is not a spoilery thing, but the neat thing is how they do it. Like I was impressed. I liked it.
Okay. Yeah. Man. I'll definitely check it out at some point, especially if it's digital now.
Yeah, should be.
Cool. Well, it turns out Tim Miller is developing a Kitty Pryde Shadowcat movie for Fox. Even though Disney bought him.
Well, I mean that doesn't put the brakes on it. Fox just can't wait to see if this goes through. They got to keep rolling.
Right, exactly. So they're going to keep rolling, but it is interesting because there will be a point, I think, where that kind of stuff stops.
I disagree.
No, you don't think so?
Because Iger came out and talked about, and specifically addressed Deadpool's R rating, and made kind of a point of saying there is a brand and a place for that.
Deadpool is, I think, the exception to the rule because Deadpool can stand outside of. I mean, even in its own continuality, it's its own thing. I mean, look at what's his face in it? Colossus. Completely different from the X-Men universe that we already know. And they if you think about it, the first Deadpool movie, they literally had one of the SHIELD helicarriers in the movie. They just did not call it that.
Yeah.
So like to me, Deadpool could totally be out. Deadpool could technically be in the Marvel universe. They just haven't said it.
Right. And I mean, here's the other thing though, like on the broader aspect of like R-rated movies, like Disney is now going to have, I think Fox or Fox Searchlight or something stays its own thing as kind of their way of making R-rated films.
Right.
Like,
for sure.
You're never going to see an R-rated Disney movie, but I mean, we used to have, you would have Touchstone and what was it, Hollywood Pictures or something that they owned, the Sphinx logo, and oh my god, it was terrible. But, they have the means and the facility. Like, you can't just take, think of Alien. God, don't do a PG-13 Alien movie. Holy crap. They did that with AVP, and it was terrible.
But I'm saying I think that because of this merger, yes, Alien, all that stuff is still going to stay Fox. But it would make sense if they just rebooted the X-Men Fantastic Four stuff and they implemented it into the Marvel stuff. To be, you know what I mean? So like I know we're getting a new X-Men Phoenix movie. I wouldn't put money that we're going to get another one with the same cast
Agreed.
After that, is all I'm saying.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that.
Yeah, like the New Mutants is coming out, of course, and then the Kitty Pryde, that's the one where, and that's what I read in an article, was like, hey, movies can be in development forever, and, it's not in production yet. It's just saying this is in development, so it could totally, they just shift it to Disney and be like, well, here's a Kitty Pryde movie, and we're going to get that as part of the Phase 4 or whatever.
Right. Oh, God, really? There's a joke there that's completely unintentional.
No, yeah, I didn't mean to. But yeah.
It's a new. Oh my god! Could you just imagine? Like that's gonna be their first one for the new X-Men, and I swear to God, if they don't throw like here's the Kitty Pryde movie, beginning a new phase in X-Men films, I would like somebody around the table has to take that, has to jump on that grenade. Somebody
Oh,
in marketing has to say, look, nobody else is gonna say it, so I'll say it, and everybody
exactly.
boos and throws balled up paper at him, and then they move on. But
Yeah.
there's, somebody has to say it.
And honestly, I completely agree with you. And for an X-Men movie, Kitty Pryde could be the perfect like main character. You know what I mean? Like how most X-Men stories go. You have Jubilee, you have Kitty Pryde, you have some young person that is who the reader or the viewer kind of sticks behind. And
Agreed.
in the original X-Men movies, we had Rogue, that was kind of our girl. Kitty Pryde would make a great one for the news, so they could kind of base she's being introduced into the X-Men, and here's the X-Men. So I could totally see them doing like a solo movie of her own, having her powers, being freaked out by them, and then maybe at the end, whoever the new Professor X is like, yo, what's up? Come join us.
Oh god, there was an idea.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Like no, oh god, if they do a post credits Professor X like they did Nick Fury and Iron Man like that.
Yeah,
I don't know though. I kind of like the symmetry there. Like it's
yeah,
definitely like a cheap repeat of the gimmick, but I don't know. I
yeah.
kind of like that callback. Actually,
I
I dig it.
Yeah, no, yeah, I think that would be great, and I think for a lot of, I think that we are going to absolutely now start seeing Easter eggs and hints and whatever, because now they can legally do that. Fox isn't going to be suing them, so I
Right.
think they're easily going to be able to drop hints like that, and we got this whatever virus over here, whatever they're going to go into, is they're going to drop the mutant stuff, and they're going to they could easily mention Wolverine without mentioning him. Be like, we got this thing over here in the northeast in Canada or whatever,
Yeah.
running around in the woods, feral, blah 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 blah. I don't know, but it's going to be interesting times. That new Mutants movie looks great.
I can't. I'm genuinely excited for that because that trailer was awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. That is one of my most anticipated movies this year. Along with, did you see the new Black Panther trailer?
I didn't, and I don't plan to because I like to stay away
Okay.
from the TV spots because I think once you do the theatrical trailers, that's enough. Like I stayed away from the Force the not the Force the Last Jedi TV spot where they were like, and it's Luke and the Millennium Falcon. I'm like, I don't want to see that until the movie. So I
Right.
just like I that's why I stay away from the TV spots. But I've heard it was really cool.
Oh yeah, no, it was really good. Absolutely, I really liked this trailer. So once the movie's out, definitely go back and watch it.
Yeah.
It featured Kendrick Lamar and his new song for it. He's also producing the album for the film,
Yeah.
which is insane. So that's going to be probably the best Marvel album they've had so far. Guardians to me has been my favorite album out of theirs. So to have a Kendrick Lamar produced album, that's awesome. So the trailer was fantastic. It got me really hyped. So yeah, I can't wait, man. I really can't wait for the movie. And it's soon too. It's like next month,
It's
right?
in a month. Yeah.
I imagine that's when we'll get the Han Solo trailer.
I would imagine so. Yeah.
Yeah, because we gotta get that, man. Did you see the Lego leaks?
No, I didn't.
Oh, I don't even know if we should talk about it because the promotional art for this it gives story beats.
It's always toys. It's always toys where they're like, and here's this cool stuff that's gonna tie into this movie, and it would have been like the toys for Empire Strikes Back coming out and being like, and here's Luke with a detachable hand,
Right.
like,
Well, it's the Lego stuff especially because they're like, here's some ships from the movie, and here's the big ships from the
uh-huh,
movie.
yeah,
Here's some scenarios that you can build out in Legos from the movies, and of course it says names of places, things, what's going on, and you're just like, oh, and you get so excited. I'll just say this, I'll tease this. There's some planets in there that we've never seen before in the films that's only been the extended universe stuff that I am super excited to see.
excellent.
in the movie. Yeah, they showed now the promo art showed the main people. You know, it showed Amelia Clark, it showed Donald Glover, it showed the guys playing Han
I was
and
gonna say, I was
Chewie.
like, I want to see you try this name. Oh.
Yeah, no, I'm not doing it. Chewie's the only one that looks super recognizable. Donald Glover doesn't look like Lando, but I think hopefully it's just the promo art. Just it. I love Donald Glover. I'm glad that he's playing Lando, but it might be one of those cases where I just see Donald Glover, if that makes sense.
I can understand that. Yeah, I can totally get that.
Yeah, and I don't like the way the kid looks, but it's a picture, so I'm sure seeing him and acting as the character and portraying him will be something very different.
Yeah. No, I definitely it's like with old 80s action stars. Like
Yeah.
you never see a character. You always just see, or you only see one character. You
Right,
know?
Schwarzenegger.
Yeah,
It's always going to be the same character.
Exactly. Like it's the same kind of thing of eventually you don't notice it's a character. It's just the actor.
Yep, Bruce Willis. He is the same person. I swear, he's the guy from Die Hard was also in The Fifth Element.
Yeah.
He just had hair.
He is. He's the same dude in every film.
Yeah, he's the same guy.
Yeah.
So, but that was cool. So look at your own. I won't go into more details because some of the things they do show, I'm like, oh, that's interesting. Wait, why does that look like that?
Yeah.
Because that is very different, and I don't like the way that looks. But yeah, so we'll see. That's coming out really soon too.
May 25th.
Yep. Yeah, there was a lot of rumors that Lucasfilms is sending it out to die or whatever, but I don't know.
Why? Because
I don't know if that's something they would do.
I don't think Disney's that stupid.
No. Well, people are like, well, where's the promotional stuff? And I think it's obvious that all the promotional stuff was behind The Last Jedi, and they don't want to eat itself.
Right.
By mixing the message, like, well, here's the Han Solo movie, while people are still talking about The Last Jedi.
Exactly.
I think it just left the Dolby theater part in our AMC. It's still in the IMAX, still in the whatever. So
it's gonna be. It may well still be out in some theaters when Solo comes out.
Exactly.
I'm serious, man. We saw, my buddy Daniel and I, when we were in Sarasota, saw the Hunger Games, the first one, in the big theater downtown. I know 3-4 months. It was insane. I mean, I've never seen a movie in a theater that long. It was madness.
Yeah. I mean, we'll probably see the Han Solo trailer if we went to go see The Last Jedi next month.
At some point, right?
Yeah.
But no, I absolutely think you're right. All the Star Wars press is on The Last Jedi, and then that's going to transition out because Black Panther's going to come out and be the next big thing, and that's going to let them go, hey, now, we had The Last Jedi and Infinity War trailer before that. Now we've got our next Marvel movie, so now we're going to have our next Star Wars trailer. Like I totally see it that way.
I think it's going to drop during the Super Bowl, and then a few weeks later we'll see it in the theater with Black Panther. I think that's got to be how it goes, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think you hit the nail on the head. I think the premiere will be during the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that. It's a good call.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And then it'll be all online, and you can go watch it afterwards. Because, I mean, when you're watching the Super Bowl, if you're at a party or something, you don't actually hear anything.
Right.
Yeah. But, yeah, so that should be cool. All right. Where were we? The Merlin Saga. You want to go ahead and take this one?
Yeah, I'd never heard of this, but it had Ridley Scott attached to it, so now I'm kind of interested. Evidently, there was a series of books by an author named T.A. Barron. Never heard of. It's called The Merlin Saga, and that's Disney's next big thing. Like their next whatever. Ridley Scott is reportedly attached to it. And interestingly, Philippa Boyens from working on the Lord of the Rings movies is going to be doing the screenplays.
Ooh.
So
that's cool.
That's an interesting kind of pedigree right there. So now I'm curious to kind of go check them out, maybe.
Definitely. Man, Disney's just whew.
I'm gonna be interested because there was a lot of chat about work. Nobody's really sure how well A Wrinkle in Time is gonna do.
Yeah.
And the more I look at it, the more I'm thinking, I'm like, I understand that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's gonna be a fun test balloon because this movie wasn't cheap.
No, but I'm not seeing any. I always feel like I'm left out because I don't watch regular TV anymore. When I do, I fast forward through commercials.
It's a trailers on all the time.
So I never see the trailer. I only see really trailers during YouTube when I'm putting on YouTube videos, and it's usually like geared towards me. But
right.
I mean, you would think this would be a part of those things as well. The stuff I see on YouTube.
It's more kid oriented.
Oh, okay.
So I can see like this is definitely a Disney kids. It's a young adult film instead of a young adult novel, basically.
Right.
So but it's on TV all the time.
This is the one with Oprah, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
In a really cool costume too. Like
dope.
The wardrobes in this whole movie look great, but her costume, makeup, hair, the whole bit, like that's a badass look.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think I saw the trailer. It had Zach Galifianakis in it too.
Yeah, I think he's one of the villains.
Oh really? Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. I think. Now I'm not sure because I cannot get into this book. I have tried to read the Wrinkle in Time Quintet forever, and I just can't. I get so bogged down in because they throw the concepts and the terminology at you right up front. And I can't wade through it. I can't make sense of it.
Gotcha.
So I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe if I pushed another 20 pages, it's like, oh, and now we're really telling a story that you can relate to. But it's just tough.
Yeah, I don't blame you. We got some Vin Diesel news. He's rumored to be starring in the Valiant comic film Bloodshot.
Yeah, that's, a little on the nose, but okay. I mean, Bloodshot's a little bit more emotive than that. But hey, they cut a bit. I'm waiting to see when we start getting Valiant stuff because it was a couple of years ago they cut that huge deal, and we haven't really seen anything. So.
Wasn't there a movie with the guy who played the Green Power Ranger?
I don't think JDF did anything yet.
No, he did.
What the hell did he do?
Valiant movie. What's his name?
Jason David Frank.
Jason, what was it?
David Frank.
I
don't think so. I mean, he's done like a lot of direct to DVD stuff, and he had like his own little web series kind of thing.
Jason David Frank reveals new Bloodshot image.
When was this?
This was January 5th, 2018. Yeah, I could have sworn that he was involved in something like this.
He may well be. I don't know. That's the first I'm hearing of it.
I'll send it to you there. Yeah, because I remember when the Power Rangers movie came out, and oh wait, no, hold on. He's in. Okay, so the movie he's in is called Ninjak vs. the Valiant Universe.
Okay.
And he's playing Bloodshot in it.
But all right, now I'm just confused.
Oh, it's a series.
Yeah,
Ninjak vs. the Valiant Universe, and it's a series. A British intelligence agent's martial artist.
Yeah.
So I guess he's playing Bloodshot in it. So the movie's something separate.
Yeah.
Well, that's not confusing at all.
No, they're not pulling a DC with this.
Right. Oh, and the artwork looks straight up from. I'm looking at the IMDb for the Ninjak series, and it looks straight up how like DC does their artwork.
I am not surprised. Not at all.
Oh man, he just looks like Thrawn. But okay. Yeah, that looks cool.
That's supposed to start this month, isn't it?
I don't know. What is it even on?
Hell, man, I don't know.
U.S. No, I don't know. Doesn't say. Well,
I don't know. Digital, it looks like.
Digital. So go to the website to watch it.
Right. I don't know.
Oh no! It should be. Oh yeah, it's a web series. Okay.
That
Yeah,
was
so
what
it
that
is.
was what I thought, like a machinima kind of deal.
Ah, so that's what it is. Okay, I didn't know
Yeah.
if it was on like Hulu or something.
I
Who
I
knows?
I think it's something like that where they're like, hey, we have some content kind of thing, like more of a not like this is included in all of our stuff, but more of just a hey, we're actually doing things. Take a look at
Right.
this.
Take a look at and hopefully someone picks it up later. Like, hey, that's not bad. Um, but cool, man. That's awesome. Let's see here. You go ahead and take the next one here.
Yeah, so sorry, I totally lost my place there. There is a series. We're back to book adaptations. It's a series of novels from an author named Nancy Springer.
Mm,
Uh, it's called the Enola Holmes Mysteries. Now, the first name may be a little different, but it's basically, Sherlock and Mycroft Holmes have a younger sister who's also a great detective because, of course. Um, there's
what else could she be?
yeah, right. Legendary has partnered with Millie Bobby Brown, who plays 11, to star in and produce a series of films based on these books.
Oh, she's producing it as well.
She's also going to be a producer.
How old is she?
Uh,
And is that legal?
there's, I imagine the technicalities of which have all been worked out, but
Yeah.
good for her, man. Kick ass.
No,
Go for
no,
it.
no. Congratulations, sir. But she's like what, 14, 16?
I don't know.
She has to be 16 to be legally doing that, right?
I would say let's ask on Twitter, but I'm afraid of what we'd get in response.
Oh, yeah, that would be a weird thing. How old is Millie? Just a random question. Like, wait, what?
Because half of the people would go, "Why do you want to know?" and the other half of the people would be way too eager to answer.
She's okay. So she's 13. She was born in 2004 when I graduated high school. So that's cool. She's so young, makes me feel so old.
You look at people who have accomplished so much, and you realize where we are, and you're just like, even if your life is really great, you look at these and you go, I feel like I have done nothing with my life.
Yeah. Hey, well, just look at the Cash Me Outside girl. She's almost a millionaire.
I don't even. There's a difference. No, there is a difference between talent and garbage. And the fact that. No, I'm sorry. Dr. Phil and Dr. Oz are proof that Oprah is not qualified to be president. Because they are her fault. I blame her. They are a blight on psychology and psychiatry and medicine and damn them. But
yeah.
that's what this gives us. It gives us the Cash Me Outside girl. Like really,
Yep.
she's making bank, and people.
Oh, so much money.
And people who actually work are going bankrupt and homeless and can't afford medical bills. But no, let's celebrate a stupid 14-year-old who was on TV because she's a stupid 14-year-old.
Yep. Absolutely. Yeah, no, I agree. It's so dumb. But anyway, but yeah. So anyway, Millie Bobby Brown, an actual talented 13-year-old,
Here. No
is
kidding.
starring and producing. That's so awesome. So cool. But yeah. So we got. So is she gonna be like a 13-year-old detective, or is this gonna be like Harriet the Spy?
I don't know. I imagine it's gonna skew a little more Harriet the Spy territory.
That would be cool.
It'll be like I definitely see it being more kid friendly.
Yeah.
Like it's not gonna be like Sherlock Holmes, but with
Sure.
his younger sister. It's
No.
gonna be a
Yeah.
younger Sherlock. It's gonna be like
have some whimsical stuff. Make it a little bit like Harry Potter. Not magic, but you know what I mean.
right.
Like a fun adventure.
Right, like young Indiana Jones kind of
Yeah.
deal. Instead of like, oh no, it's very serious, but just no, don't do that. It's a kid's thing. And now having never read the book, I don't know. The books may be dark as hell. I don't know, but
Right.
I kind of doubt it.
Right.
But I don't know. So, but we'll see.
Oh yeah. Well, Warner Brothers appoints Walter Hamada.
I'd go Hamada.
Hamada, producer of the Conjuring franchise and It, to oversee the DC films.
I'm gonna throw my hat in the ring because after the next film comes out and it winds up being a train wreck, then I'm just, hey, I'll do it. Nobody else could seem to get it right. Why not take a shot?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't understand why they canned Jeff Johns. He was probably the only voice of reason.
Because Jeff is doing 8 billion things. Because he's also publishing DC Comics. So I mean, there's that too. Like the reason that Kevin Feige works so well at Marvel is because that is his job. His job is to oversee the films, and that is it.
That's true.
Johns is doing all these other things. He's what is he, co-publisher at DC Comics?
Yeah, co-publisher, editor, writer. He does
doing all this stuff.
He probably draws a book for all we know.
But you can't have him do all that and oversee the. No, it's too much. It's just too much.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's see here. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. The Conjuring and it, like, cool movies, but very dark. Like, I don't know if,
who directed The Conjuring?
Oh, that's true. He's doing Aquaman.
Yeah. So there's, and I mean, we've seen James Wan do other things. This isn't just, but that, and I think that might have helped that partnership along of like, hey, I worked with this guy and look at the movies that he, I mean, The Conjuring was huge. Annabelle was, not all that great, but the sequel was fantastic. But, of course, it was a colossal hit. So, I mean, why not?
Yeah. I mean, DC is turning into the Why Not Lounge.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, and I we'll see. I guess it just makes you wonder. Like, who was the guy who did the DC animation for years and years and years and years? The guy, the animated movies he was in charge for.
Oh, you had to ask me, didn't you? Because I know. Oh, I hate that I don't know this. It was. Damn it, I gotta look this up, because this is gonna bother me that I don't know this.
Yeah.
Move on in the meantime, and I'll come back, I'll circle back to it.
Alright. So, my point was, like, why don't they get someone like that in charge? Because those films are amazing. Like, and he knew what he was doing, he knew the characters. I don't know about when they get other people outside of that realm involved. I don't know how well it can be, but we'll see.
Yeah, Bruce Timm.
There we go. Yeah, no, I should have known it too, but
him and Paul Dini. That was the name that I couldn't remember.
Yeah. But we got some Game of Thrones news. Season 8 is going to premiere 2019. Now, we heard this before, like, hey, by the way, don't get too, don't get your hope ups, because it's probably going to be 2019. And lo and behold, it is, which I'm perfectly okay with. Hopefully we have a nice, healthy year where we'll all survive and be here in 2019.
I'm telling you what, though, just from a fan perspective and seeing the fan base for Game of Thrones, it better be January 2019.
Oh yeah.
It better be New Year's Day premiere 2019.
Right. They better not come out like, well, it's going to be in May or something. No. January. Yeah. Yep. Because we're not even going to get a freaking we didn't get a wow, my mind just went blank again. It's
spin-off miniseries.
No, Westworld. We didn't get a West. Well, we didn't get a Westworld last year, did we?
No, but we should be getting it this year, right?
We're getting it this year. Well, that's what I mean. Like, we're going so long between these series that at least we have Westworld this year.
Well, because they take such a long time to make.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, you're right. You can't complain, but just need more stuff, I guess. Need more good series.
Yeah, because my God, there's nothing on TV right now.
Do you hear that 99% of the channels on my television that I don't turn to? Yeah. Did you see that the Miz is getting a television?
Miz and
Maurice?
Mrs. Oh,
yeah. They deserve it, man. I'm happy for them.
Well, here's the thing. It's only, like 6 episodes or something? 6 or 10?
I don't know.
Like, it's a limited... It's more like a documentary that they just broke down into parts. Which
Are you sure they're not just like I guess you read more about it than I did. I assumed it was just going to be like hey, here is this show while we're like, in the middle of, when there's no television,
Yeah.
and if people like it and it gets ratings, they'll just keep it going.
I think that at least the first season is like a limited run, and
Yeah.
then they'll go from there. Which, hey, look, go for it. And
Yeah.
I just hate reality TV.
No, well,
But
I mean, but this is the Miz. This is where he was born into. Like, this is what he was before he was even a wrestler. So,
yeah,
like,
so
it makes sense.
it's got to be weird for him to have gone back to that, like with Total Divas and everything, to go back to reality TV.
Oh, I bet he's thriving, and I think he even says that in Total Divas. He's like, "This is what my bread and butter. I know this. Like, I'm cool with this." And the Miz is such a character. Like, to me, the guy feels like a real world person, and I am not trying to say it like that. It just hit me. But he feels like a real. I don't know. Like it's hard to explain. Like, he feels like a fan that became a wrestler, and that was his gimmick. That he was a fan. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If he just feels more realistic to me than a lot of these other characters. Even though, if you want to think about, a lot of them obviously were fans, but he just feels more genuine, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
I dig his character, and I like that I knew him before he became a wrestler. Because I don't know if I've said it on the show before, but I remember watching The Real World back in the day, and I remember him specifically because he talked about wrestling. I was like, oh my god, that's so cool. Here he is on MTV, or they would probably never talk about that kind of stuff. And here he is just fanboying out about how he wants to be a wrestler. And in his head, he created this character named The Miz. And he was on like a bunch of Road Rules versus Real World. And I remember seeing all of that. And I remember thinking, like, that's funny. Like, that's his cool little thing, but we probably will never do that. That's so that ring is so far away from what he's doing right now. And then I remember not watching wrestling for years, and when I came back to it, seeing him, and I think is when he had the championship or whatever,
God.
and I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, he did it. Like, he had a dream, and somehow, after all these years, because it was like 8 years or something, like it was a while.
It was a big stretch, yeah.
I was like, all these years, he's champion. Like, holy shit. Like, that was like a oh my god, like he had a dream and he fulfilled it. I don't know. I know a lot of people don't like The Miz, but there's something about him that I really do dig.
I like The Miz now. Back then, I didn't like him, and I don't mean that as in the like, oh yeah, he was a bad guy, I didn't like him. I just meant like and a lot of it was a problem that was a product of the times, because that was when you had Cena and Rock had their big feud and all this other stuff that was going on, and the Miz's whole championship run was part of the nobody cares era, which is not fair to him in a sense, but I don't think he was ready for it then either.
But no, I agree.
I think it was too soon. If you drop that on him sometime this year, yeah. That'll put my butt in a seat. Hell yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. And I think the whole nobody cares. He does great with that kind of stuff. Like, look at the Intercontinental Championship and all that stuff. Like, he's done great with that.
He really did elevate that, and the fact that that's what he's still chasing.
Right.
When he came back to Monday Night Raw the other night, and he's like, and I want that Intercontinental title. He didn't say, oh, I lost the Intercontinental title, so now I gotta move on. He's like, no, this is my title, and I want it, now I'm gonna have it. And that's how you make these things mean something.
Yep. Oh yeah. And so yeah, man. So I just thought that was crazy when I saw that. So when I see that he's getting all this work, I'm happy for the guy. Like, he seems like a genuine dude.
Yeah, but let's be honest, the Marine 6 is going to be a terrible movie.
Well, yeah, of course. Yeah, absolutely. But you know what? I know you hate reality shows. I'm a sucker for that. I watch every episode of Total Divas. I think that is so great.
I have no problem copping to, like, I just don't watch it regularly, but I'll see it every once in a while, and it's fun. It's
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
there is some.
I love the behind the scenes, and to me, it makes that whole division so much way more interesting because you actually get to see, a side of them that is probably mostly all made up, but still they feel like real. Like you see the real them and not these, characters. And watching Total Divas, I've been like, why isn't Nia Jax just herself? Why do they well, she wants to be the, I'm not like everyone, like this monster or whatever. And if she was just herself, her and Alexa Bliss's chemistry off the set of WWE is just way better than what they're doing with her.
It's so good. Like you put and they do it at house shows. That's what's crazy.
Right.
Like they are Team Root at house shows all the time. And if they put that on TV the way it ought to be, it would blow up. It would be huge.
And you can tell they're putting in a little bit, but they have that whole Enzo and just that whole bit is just kind of ruining it. But yeah, like they're just so much better. Their whole social media and the whole Total Divas, you see it from a different light, and you're just like, wow. And then you realize who actually are the crazy people. And it's usually the people that have been there the longest.
Yeah.
Like Carmella seems normal, like Alexa Bliss seems probably to be the most normal out of all of them because she's just some shy, quiet, like, well, you guys can fight. I'm going to be here with a margarita,
Yep.
The rest just seem to have really big egos. And Natty's just kind of crazy. So her whole cat thing and what's her name? Lana, like she's nuts. Lana is crazy. Oh man.
Well, I mean, what could I say? Happy Rusev Day, I guess.
Happy Rusev Day. And Rusev he's like the normal. What do you call it? He's the straight man.
He's
like
the straight man, yeah.
They're going crazy, and he's like, what? Like, stop talking. Like, I don't know. It's really funny.
That's and I think that's helped him a lot too to finally just
for sure
be himself. Because look, when you can have him standing out there in the middle of a ring with anybody, and the crowd gets going and they're all chanting Rusev Day, it's just you can't ignore that. You can't just say, oh, that's cute. He grabbed that thing and just ran with it. And he owns that, and God bless him for it, because it's hysterical.
Oh, yeah. And when he was saying it on Christmas, I'm like, oh, it is his birthday. Like, it is Rusev Day. It makes sense. Yeah, no, so it's characters like Rusev, like, yes, all of these characters, like John Cena, look at him. Like, you can see a completely different side of him in those shows.
You can.
Yeah, no, I'll tell you what, a lot of 99% of reality shows trash to me, but it's just like fast food. Like, I know it's garbage, but sometimes you just want a Whopper.
And here's the thing, like, this is an odd behind the scenes of something that, like, we're interested in. Like, we're not seeing It's not like most reality TV where it's like, oh no, this is all you get to see about these people. You get to see their entire lives, but this is what they are all the time. It's almost, this isn't reality TV so much as it's like behind the scenes.
Exactly.
And it's different. It feels different that way, I guess.
It really does, because you see the injuries, and then you see like there's stuff, especially with Lana, like you see her character, and we watched her grow, and then what happened to her in the ring, and how she had her few matches, and then she didn't have some matches, and like you see all the behind the scenes, and then you see like there was a recent episode where she slips to Carmella like, oh yeah, I did talk to them about me replacing you at the house shows and doing stuff, and like you see her reaction to that, and like then you realize, oh yeah, that's kind of how it went for those few months. There was a lot more Lana on television and there wasn't Carmella, and so like, oh, that I don't know, it's just the way they do it, you see that behind the scenes. It's so crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you even saw Alexa Bliss's fiance on there, Murphy or whatever, the guy for NXT. And I guess he's not on NXT right now. So
yeah, Blake and Murphy are not. I forget. Is one of them injured or something, or are they just gone? I don't remember.
Well, they talk about, because like you can't tell how much of this is scripted or not, but like they straight up say like, well, if you're cut from NXT, what happens? And he's like, well, we either get married or I have to go back to Australia. And she's like, how are we going to plan a wedding in 90 days? Because that's how long he'll have. And it was just ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh yeah, I remember that NXT guy because I think he was there when I went and saw NXT last year or whatever. I was like, I remember that, or however long it was ago.
Yeah.
I remember that tag team, and then it was just interesting to see him on there. But anyway, we've gone down a rabbit hole. It's all my fault. Go watch Show Divas.
Yeah, that was still one of my favorite lines from the Usos New Day rap battle.
Which one?
When Xavier Woods stepped up and talked to Jay and said, "You turn the universe into believers, but remember you were absolutely nothing until your wife put you on Total Divas."
Oh yeah. That was great.
Oh, it's like, ouch, Woods. That would have been line of the night if they hadn't kind of already beaten you to it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So when's the mixed tag match? That starts next week?
A week from tomorrow. Yeah, it's on Facebook.
Oh, okay. It's gonna be on Facebook. That'd be interesting.
Some of the teams are kind of weird. We're gonna have Bailey and Elias, which is a weird team. We're gonna have Alexa Bliss and Braun Strowman, which is
a great one.
A great but weird team. My favorite one was the one that they revealed on Raw this week. Is The Miz and his partner Asuka.
He seemed genuinely surprised.
Yeah, and he was like, "You really? This is awesome. This is great. You're fantastic. I'm fantastic. You're undefeated. I'm The Miz. This is so cool."
He's like, "We're gonna win. You're undefeated. You're not gonna lose." So that was great. Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's good. And of course, and then Rusev and Lana and Naomi and Jay. I hope. I still can't tell them apart. I'm sorry. I'm a terrible person. I cannot tell Jimmy and Jay apart. I can't do it.
I can sort of now because of the show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or at least I'm like, hey, he sounds like him. Like, he sounds like he's making those same jokes. Where the other one's a little bit more serious and laid back.
Yeah.
But, yeah. I can sort of, but before the show, could not. They had to wear different colors and, like, different sides of their face had to be painted.
Right. Like, even when they had face paint on different sides, because halfway through the match, that all gets rubbed off. And I'm like, well, I don't know.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I knew twins growing up. They lived down the street, and one was always a little bit chubbier than the other, and they always switched. One would be fat, one would be skinny, and then they switched, and then a few years later they'd switch, or one would have, like, their hair different, so there was always something different. But no, these guys straight up, like, haircuts, everything's the same.
Yeah.
And they're both, super fit, so it's like you can't really tell, unless one of them, like, straight up goes The Rock or something. That's the only way you're going to be able to tell. But yeah, anyway. But yeah, so anyway, Total Divas.
Yeah, because it's all on the networks. It's all on the WWE network.
Is it on the network?
It's, at least past seasons. I think they do like a Netflix thing where, like, it's on E, and then after the season's over, it's on the network or something like that.
Okay, that's what it is. Yeah, because I know they have like a part 2 coming out this week or whatever, but SummerSlam Part 2 or something.
Oh.
But yeah, we're like, it was great because, like, Rusev found out that Lana was with women before, and so that, like, for the whole episode, he's so excited about that, and he's like, tell me stories, and she's like, what? No, I'm not doing that. And so, like, anyway, they go to a bar, and he tries to get someone to talk to her, and it's just hilarious.
Rusev.
Yeah. Because he's like, oh man. But anyway, we'll try to get this back on track. All right. The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. You go ahead and take this because I don't want to butcher her name.
Yeah, Kiernan Shipka, who played one of the daughters, right? In Mad Men. You know the show. What were the kids' names? Wasn't there like a Sandy or Nancy or something?
No way she played. Oh yeah, that is her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. She played the main character's Don Draper's daughter.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. But yeah, she's gonna be Sabrina.
Yeah. Awesome. Yep. That adds up. She definitely looks like she could be Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Yeah.
All right, and she was good in that show too. You never watched Mad Men?
No, it's too slow for me.
It's very slow.
Nothing against it. Everybody says it's a fantastic show, and I'm not arguing it. I need something that picks up a little bit. It's just not my style. That's all.
I think most people watch it because of the style of the show, because of the times, and like you see all the little things. I remember actually going to my grandparents once and watching it with them, and I remember those cigarettes. I remember this is how it was. Like they were smoking it everywhere, and like these booths specifically for just all this stuff like that. The attention to detail they had was insane.
Yeah.
And so that was an interesting show, and that show takes dedication if you're trying to binge it now, because there's gonna be a lot of parts where you fall asleep. But the Animaniacs show gets 2-season commitment for Hulu.
Yeah, they're gonna get 2 seasons full of brand new episodes.
As the Maniac. Oh, it's so good. That's awesome.
It's
all the same voice actors.
I haven't seen. I would imagine so.
Yeah, I would think so too.
At least as many of them as they have. I'm pretty sure they're all still around.
Oh yeah, a lot of Disney stuff leaving Netflix and going to Hulu. I saw Lost.
Yeah,
was one of them.
Well, I mean because CBS is the basically ABC. Disney owns 2/3 of Hulu pretty much now.
Yep.
And CBS owns the other third. CBS has their own streaming service, so why are they going to bother? They'll just sell, and Hulu will be Disney's new streaming service. Like that's just it. It's just how it's going to be.
That's what I'm thinking. They'll probably change the name of it because I don't like Hulu. I've never liked the name of it.
I just never got into Hulu. Because everything that they were advertising was like, and this is what people are watching now because it's what they like, and it's true. But I just never liked any of it. Like at all. But now that they, they started their own programming and stuff, I was like, I don't know. I'll consider it.
You would really dig Runaways.
Yeah, that's what I heard. I heard it was really good.
It's really good. I've seen like 2 episodes, and I want to finish it. I want to watch that more than I want to watch a lot of other comic book stuff right now.
Nice.
I just need I need a break. I need to take a day off and not tell anybody and just disappear and watch some of this stuff. Yeah. The Mayans MC Motorcycle Club, Sons of Anarchy spinoff, finally gets picked up by FX for a full season.
Yeah, this was like 3 years in the works. I mean, this is a problem here. I was excited about this when it was announced.
Yeah, it's too gone.
But it's way too far past. I imagine it'll still be good because it's still Kurt Sutter running it, writing it. He's not directing. He stepped away from directing. But it's too late. It's just too late.
Yeah. No, I agree. Yeah, but we'll see. FX doing some good stuff. All right, let's get into video games. There's not really much to talk about at all. We have the Dragon Ball Fighters with a Z. I hate that they did that.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah, just call it Dragon Ball Z Fighters or something. But anyway, the beta roster was revealed, which is Nappa, Vegeta, Goku, Piccolo, Krillin, Cell, Android 18, Frieza, Beerus, Kid Buu, Adult Gohan.
Yeah, having Beerus in there is interesting because it's kind of like here's everybody, and then here's the God of Destruction. So.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, did you see who's all in the actual game?
No, I didn't know they had a whole. Do we finally have a complete roster?
Yeah, give me just a moment here and go ahead and pull it up.
Yeah, I hadn't seen that. I knew I'd seen a lot of articles and here are the top 5 fighters we want in this game, but I hadn't seen.
Oh yeah. So there's going to be. I'll just go down the list here. Android 16, 18 with Android 17, Beerus, Captain Ginyu with the Ginyu Force, Cell, Frieza, Gohan, Teen and Adult, Goku, Super Saiyan Blue, and Goku Black, which I won't explain if you haven't seen Dragon Ball Super.
I was going to say, I imagine that's something new in Super.
Yes. Gotenks.
You got it, yeah.
Yes, so that's Goku and Trunks together.
No, Goten and Trunks.
Goten and Trunks, that's right, yeah. There's Hit, who is in Super.
Okay.
Kid Buu, Krillin, Majin Buu, Nappa, Piccolo. Nappa's with Sabaman, Piccolo, Tien with Chaozu, Trunks, Vegeta, Super Saiyan Blue, and Yamcha. And there's going to be, they said so far eight characters are going to be in the first season for the. So like if you get the Super Duper Deluxe Edition, you'll get 8 characters added on, which I imagine will be. I don't know. I'd like to see Bulma on there. It's just for fun.
I was gonna say why.
It'd be cool. I don't know. Like, suddenly someone gave her a pill that turned her into like a powerful. I want what's his face, Hercule or whatever. Like, I want some random freaking DBZ characters in there.
That's fair. Like that, I get. Him and Videl and like and
And all they have to do is create a story part element where they pop a pill and suddenly they're powerful Superman, just like they did on Injustice. That's all they got to do.
Yeah.
That would be awesome. That would be so cool. Because who else would you do? I mean, there's a lot of other characters, I guess.
There's so many characters.
But those are the fun ones. I want to see some fun ones like Bulma and stuff like that.
I'm okay with that. Like, this is a franchise you can get away with that with. Like, hey, we made this really bizarre,
you could put her in like a big machine capsule corp, giant, robot thing where that's how she's fighting. You could do King Kai. Like you could just.
I want to see this bizarre universe where you get and don't change the personality, but just a simple character name, Super Saiyan Chi-Chi. Tell me that's not really the most frightening thing if you think about it.
Right. No, well, you know what? It could happen. Because you haven't seen any of Super, have you?
I have seen none of Super. You telling me they do some really bizarre stuff?
Well, yeah. I mean, Super opens it up. They're like, oh, hey, by the way, this is one of 12 dimensions. What?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're like, oh, wait, so that's how it explains there's like, your Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan in this, but, there might be other Super Saiyans out there. And so that's where kind of the introduction of like, because they kind of hit a ceiling with Dragon Ball Z where they're like, well, we're the only two, and so our family is going to be the only ones that are going to be powerful. But it's like the other universes, there's all these crazy, like, it's different. So, and not to spoil anything, but just to tease, there is a female Super Saiyan.
Nice, very cool.
Yeah, and so like there's and she almost looks like Brawly, but it's a chick, and it's awesome, and it's just totally cool. So, yeah, man, it's great. I love the direction they're going with that because it really just the stuff that's doing with Beerus and stuff like that. That's where it really opens it up, where they're like, oh, by the way, I'm in charge of this universe, and like Beerus's brother or whatever he is like a fat purple cat. So like he's like Beerus, but like he's a fat cat, and he's way more of a dick than Beerus is, even though Beerus is a dick.
So he's basically Beerus Gut, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so it's cool. There's so many characters. I'm probably forgetting a million of them, but like I want to see you could easily just put in Vegeta with the Majin symbol on his head, which I'm sure is there.
Sure.
All those characters that were part of the Majin stuff, all the androids, all the whatever. You can do Android 17. You could even do like even the stuff from GT if you want to. I'm curious how this is going to do because when I played it, I couldn't figure out what I was doing.
Yeah.
And I play fighting games. I'm not that stupid when it comes to it. Like I'm pretty good at. I played Injustice the other day with my friend who just got it, destroyed him, and I was like, oh shit, that's right, because I've been playing for months.
Yeah.
And I've learned all the moves and everything else. So like I'm kind of competent when it comes to it. But when I played that, I put the controller down and I was like, I can't do this. Like I don't know how I can't hit them at all. So I don't know if I was just playing against super deluxe duper people, but oh my god, it was insane. So I'm curious what's gonna come out after this. Like once people try it, if they're gonna be like, well, I can't do that. That's not Mortal Kombat. That's not Street Fighter. That's not Tekken. That's something completely bonkers.
But I mean, here's the thing though: how many other fighting game franchises are there that still exist? That nobody that let's be honest, there's not a giant King of Fighters fan base, but it's still out there. There's not a huge Guilty Gear fan base, but it's still out there. Like, I mean, these.
From what I understand, that's what this is kind of like, the Guilty Gear series, I think. Yeah, Guilty Gear. Yeah. So this is the same people. This is found in the Arc System Works games and Guilty Gear. So, like, apparently there's games out there like this, but I've never touched.
Yeah.
Who's touched a Guilty Gear or Arc System game? That's not mainstream to me like how Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter are.
Exactly. Yeah, Guilty Gear is one of those that, like, I have tried, and I'm sure if I sat down, because it is different. It is very different. But if you sit down and really sink into it, then it kind of becomes, oh, I get it now.
Yeah, no, that's what I need to do, because I was just like, I'm getting destroyed. And the other problem of the beta was there was no AI.
Yeah,
I couldn't learn anything.
Yeah, it was all just PvP. Yeah,
it was all PvP, and so, like, I get in there and I'm like, okay, cool, I got a punch on them, but then Piccolo threw me across the ring and it gets like cinematic, or I can't tell if I'm supposed to be punching or like I'm just getting then the world blows up and I'm like, all right, well, I guess I lost. Like, I don't know how I'm supposed to fight against that.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. I think, like, it gets to a certain point, if you get to a certain level while fighting, you can destroy the planet or something. So I don't know what happened. But it was fun. So I don't know. It's definitely something I'm picking up, but I always say be cautious with fighters dropping, $60 or
yeah.
$100.
I learned that lesson the hard way every time a new NetherRealm Studios game comes out, because, like, I love Mortal Kombat and I loved Injustice, but, like, once I'm done with the story mode, I'm done. You
know what? I have to say, I agree with you, but Injustice 2, I played for months because they had the progression stuff.
Yes, the multiverse stuff in Injustice 2 was worth it. That absolutely. But, most fighting games are, here's your arcade mode, and then here's your, like, local versus mode, and here's your online versus mode.
Right.
And I'm just like, that's, for me, doesn't do it. Because I'm not an online guy. I'm just not.
Yeah. No, me either. I've been thinking of picking up Tekken because it was like $20 on the store the other day, and it'd be cool to get that because they have the DLC for the Bullet Club and all that other stuff.
DLC, yeah.
They have all the apparently like a ton of the what is it, the
New
Ultimate
Japan.
New Japan Wrestling, like not just Bullet Club, but like a lot of the other people in it. So I was like,
I think there was a Los Ingobernables shirt and everything. Yeah.
Yeah. The guy who wears the big like Ric Flair looking coat or whatever it was not Okada. I don't know, one of those guys.
No, it's okay. No, that's Okada. Yeah.
Is it Okada?
Yeah. He's got that whole big thing.
I just recognized it.
Yeah.
I don't watch New Japan, and I probably should, but those names I hear all the time. So, and when I see their, but I don't know. I'm at that phase where I haven't branched out far yet. But
you have got to watch Wrestle Kingdom 12.
Yeah, that's what I hear.
The matches are amazing, and I mean, Okada's match was great, but Jericho Omega was an absolute masterpiece.
Yeah, I saw he dressed up as the Destiny character.
Yeah.
Which was sick.
It's fantastic. But just the match was incredible. I keep forgetting, because Jericho to me was always like, oh, it's him. I never got the allure of Jericho, and I never appreciated just how good he was until fairly recently. And I'm like, oh wait, that's right. He's actually really freaking good.
Oh man, I've always been a fan of Jericho, even when he was in WCW, and I don't know why, but I'll go back and watch some of the stuff when he has long hair and he looks crazy compared to everyone else that was there. I don't know. I've always dug Jericho. Like, I just watched a match the other day where, like, I don't ever remember this, but like he beat Triple H, went back, and then the referee got pushed, and so they were like, no, we're gonna recall it or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. I dig Jericho. He's awesome.
Yeah. He just never clicked with me not until his run with Kevin Owens. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Man.
It took that long for me, but now,
Jesus.
yeah, but now I can go back and I'm like, oh God, now I see it. Now I get it. And his match with Omega was unreal. Oh, it's so good. Yeah. It's so good.
When he came out with The Rock, and it was like one of the first WCW guys to make that big crossover.
Yeah.
That's I think where I really became a fan. I was like, oh my God, like when he's like ever, like he does, it was just so good again or whatever he does
again.
Yeah. He's so good. But yeah, I think probably his best run in WWE was the last one with Owen. So I hope he has fun going and doing what he's doing with New Japan and everything else. And when he comes back, I hope he gets one more good run, and then he's, I'm sure he'll retire soon.
Well, because he's got his cruise coming up too this year.
That's true. He's got his cruise, he's got his band, and all that other stuff. And great podcast.
He's always got good guests on, and his perspective is really interesting. So he always asks kind of different questions, and I dig that. I really dig that.
Oh yeah. All right, we got Gail Simone is going to be writing a solo series about Domino to debut April 11th.
I think it's awesome.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, and it's totally because she's going to be in Deadpool 2, but I'll take it because she's been writing Deadpool for a while too.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. We got here, you want to take this week in sexual harassment?
Yeah, this week it's James Franco. And right off the top, I take no joy in this. No Schadenfreude here. If it had been any other reason, yes, I'd be doing this with bells on, but not for this. Mm-hmm. An actress named Violet Paley accused him of basically attempting to force himself on her while they were in a car a handful of years ago, and then trying to get her to set him up with her 17-year-old friend. This, of course, was after the whole Instagram deal, where he was trying to pick up a 17-year-old, and that was creepy, because that was only 4 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Back when he was 35, so he was only more than twice her age.
Well, from what I read from those tweets is that she was not 17, and she was in a relationship with him, and the girl that she was with was 17.
Right.
Yeah.
But, being in a relationship with somebody, no still means no.
Right.
But that's true. She was not 17 at the time, but her friend was. But that's still creepy as hell.
Yeah.
And then another actress, hang on, we got to make sure I read this right. Sarah Tyler Kaplan, apparently was paid $100 a day to pose to act in the nude in 2 movies that Franco directed, and she said that he said it wasn't exploitative because she signed a contract. That somehow made it all better, like that he.
Well, I mean, isn't any nudity in a film you have a contract and you either accept it or you don't?
Well, but there's the difference between, the idea of exploitative doesn't mean whether or not you sign a contract. The idea of exploitative is, did she really have to be naked, or was it just because whoever was making the decisions wanted to see a girl naked?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know behind the scenes on how they do that. I've always wondered how films. Because obviously if you're a bigger actor, you're going to be paid a shitload more money. And if you're a nobody and they pay you to, I imagine, I don't know. I don't know how any of that works. I don't even know how to feel about that, because it sounds like she signed a contract.
Well, and here's the thing, though. As
if he pressured her or something, I could see that, but...
Well, it's the idea of she was a new actress. So you take, especially when you're just trying to get into the business, if a job comes your way, you take it. Like, there's not really an element of choice. I'm trying
to think here, because if it was a guy, it would be the same thing. You're not going to get paid that much money if you're some extra in a movie and you're a guy, right? I'm just trying to...
That's true. You'd probably arguably get paid about 25% more if you were a guy. But, there's, here's the crux of what exploitative means is kind of what this comes down to. And exploitative is basically, did she actually need to be naked? Like, was it actually like, oh, this is because of the scene or whatever it was?
A strip club, that kind of stuff.
Right. Or was it just because, hey, I'll pay you to be in this movie if you'll be naked. And there's no purpose to it. That's where it's exploitative. And the idea that if you sign a contract it's not exploitative, those two thoughts don't cross. That one has nothing to do with the other at all.
Right.
It's not about whether or not you signed a contract or how much you got paid. It's about, was this trip really necessary?
Right. We need to know the context of this.
Exactly.
Yeah. Because, I'm sure that more information will come out. James Franco's always been kind of a creep. It sucks that, Did you hear about Stan Lee?
No, what happened with Stan Lee?
Ooh.
Oh, no.
Buckle up.
Oh, not Stan. Oh, no. Here we go.
Yeah. Hold on. A rep for a nursing company called to confirm several nurses have complained, and the owner of the company has spoken to Lee directly, but the company stopped working for him around 2016. Apparently, some nurses complained that he was very handsy and groped some of the women, which is unacceptable. His lawyer has said this is completely untrue. They're not aware of anyone filing any civil action or reporting any issues to the police. And he believes that there are women now trying to blackmail him to pay him. Now, this is from The Sun or something, so or the Daily Mail, so take it with a grain of salt.
Take this with a shaker of salt.
A shaker of salt. But, of course, everyone's picked it up, But the original source is the Daily Mail, so take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah, you give me second confirmation on this that isn't from, like, the National Enquirer, then just because it's the Daily Mail,
right.
Which is basically the British version of the National Enquirer, pretty much.
Exactly.
But
it's 93 years old too. So,
there's, Stan got big in the 70s, and that mindset of,
No, apparently this was from 2016.
No, but I'm saying like that. When you get big in entertainment back then, that mindset kind of stays with you. So it's not. I'll say this: if this does turn out to be true, then it is disheartening and disappointing, but in a way not entirely surprising.
No, absolutely not. Yeah, I mean, I've worked at a retirement home, and this is pretty common for a lot of old people that age. Not to get too personal, but I've had an old lady tap me on the butt before as well when I served her food. So I don't know how serious this is. It doesn't seem like there's any proof of anything. I guess there's no not proof, that's not the right word. There's no links here that give me any sort of real story, I guess, if that makes sense.
Right, there's nothing but, hey, this is an article in the Daily Mail.
Right. So I take it with a grain of salt. So I don't know how true that could be. Man.
No, give me a New York Times or a Washington Post article about it, and then I'll believe it. But don't cite the Daily Mail as a source for anything, except what to line a birdcage with, basically.
Exactly. Yeah. So anyway, let's kind of get into our year in review. Give me just a moment here. All right. So let's break it down. Let's start with movies. And you don't have to do them in order. What were some of your favorite movies this year?
But I mean, just kind of going backwards because it's easier that way. From like chronologically, The Greatest Showman was fantastic. I saw that, I think last week. I loved it. It is very much exactly what you think. Like, it's not a heavy dramatic piece. It's a fun family musical. Hey, come out and see a very show business piece. Like it's not, you're not going to delve into the backstory of everybody. That's not the point.
Okay.
The point is to say, P.T. Barnum founded the circus, and we're going to have a lot of musical numbers because it's a production.
Okay.
Basically, and it's, if you go into it expecting like a biopic of P.T. Barnum, you're gonna be really disappointed.
No. That's not what I got from the trailer at all.
Exactly. Yeah.
I got oh hey, it's a fun movie where Hugh Jackman sings.
Yeah. There you go. You're all set.
Yep.
Let's what? God, I just saw something the other day that was really good.
Jumanji.
I've not seen Jumanji yet.
I heard that's the sleeper of the year.
I want to go see that tomorrow. Because everything I've heard and seen and people I've talked to are like, wow, that was really fun, and there's evidently a giant twist towards the end. Or surprise or something, because I've heard so many people like, and I didn't know, and I'm like, oh my god, my Star Wars ears, like,
stop it.
Evidently, so I've heard. I have no idea if that's true or not. No, Shape of Water.
And they find a boy, and his name is Gohan. Shape of Water, man. Everyone's loving it.
So good. I really enjoyed it. That was the thing that I saw. It was fantastic.
Awesome.
And then just to kind of go down the list a little bit, just the stuff I enjoyed. I liked Split. Split was phenomenal.
Split was fantastic. I forgot about that. That was a really good movie. Go watch Split, people.
And then just kind of going down. God, I have to go a long way to find something else that I saw that I liked. I never got around to seeing John Wick Chapter 2.
No, me either.
That one kind of bums me a little bit, because I've heard, people are saying it's not better than the original, but, there's a shock. Get Out, of course, was fantastic. Yep. Did not expect, that was a creepy, tense, it was a thriller from start to finish. You felt the tension the entire movie. That's hard to do.
And yet the Golden Globes thought it was a comedy.
Because they don't know what to do with genre films. They have no idea. They're like, well, it's a horror movie. Where does it fit? Well, you would think it would be drama, right? Because that would only make actual sense. But no, it's got to be best film, musical, or comedy.
Right, they're like, it's drama, but it's not drama. I'm just saying that's. I mean,
this is worse than The Martian last year. The Martian was just it's a sci-fi movie, but it's kind of funny. Oh well, that makes it a comedy. There's the faintest whisper of a thin line there.
They just make a horror genre.
Just
there's so many.
The problem is they don't know what to do with science fiction films either, unless it's because The Shape of Water isn't. The Shape of Water is a romance movie.
Right.
It's not a sci-fi movie at its heart. The Martian is a sci-fi movie. Mm-hmm. Get Out is a horror movie. There's no question about this. But I just I don't know.
Yeah.
Of course, Logan was amazing.
Thor Ragnarok, I absolutely loved.
Thor Ragnarok is definitely one of my top. It was probably the most fun movie I've seen all year.
Oh yeah, that was the direction they absolutely needed to go in, and I had a blast from top to bottom in it.
Yeah. Kong Skull Island, I really enjoyed.
Baby Driver, I thought was really good.
I still haven't finished it.
Ooh, what are you doing?
I'm still on all kinds of other stuff.
Yeah, well, wait, why'd you stop it? What happened?
I got tired. It was one of those things of I'll watch this, but it wasn't I severely overestimated my energy level at night.
Oh yeah, Wonder Woman and Last Jedi I loved. I thought they were fantastic.
Yeah, Beauty and the Beast was good.
Guardians Galaxy 2 came out this year.
Yes, it did. God, and you know what? I loved the Power Rangers movie.
Yes?
I really did.
That's on my list.
I don't care what anybody else says. I've heard a lot. That movie gets a lot of crap, but I don't care.
Oh, it was great. It could have been so much worse.
Boy, could it have been. Holy crap.
And the way they looked and everything looked way better while watching the film than seeing the stills.
Yeah, the stills did not help them. And it also really didn't do them justice because it fits within the context of the film.
It does, and they always have the chance of fixing that. Hopefully, there's a sequel. I don't know. We'll see. But
they definitely could. But
yeah.
I'm just going through and I'm like, what the hell else came out this year? There was Wonder Woman, Daniel God of War. Just like going through and I'm like, I know there's other things.
Did you see Dunkirk?
I did not.
Me either.
That's another, that and I, Tonya and Lady Bird and Three Billboards are all like, I need to see them in the next like couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Just to round out like the awards
Mm-hmm.
kind of mentality.
Yeah.
I talked a little bit about Cars 3. I really enjoyed Cars 3.
Yeah.
I didn't see The Big Sick either, but I heard a lot of really good stuff about that. That was the who is that? Kumail Nanjiani, I think, who shepherded that one. I hope that's him, because otherwise I'm gonna feel really bad because I confused him with another brown guy. But I'm pretty sure it's Kumail.
There you go.
Because I was like, oh, I'm gonna feel terrible about this if I got this wrong, but I was pretty sure it was him. Of course, Spider-Man Homecoming.
Yes.
Was this year. Was tremendous.
So good.
So good. And I enjoyed Valerian and the City of a Thousand Planets.
Did not see that.
I liked it. I thought it was a solid little sci-fi film.
I need to see it now because someone else told me like, do not see that, and so I was like, okay. But if you're saying it's good, I'll definitely watch it. I understand why people didn't like it. I do, and I totally see it. But on the other hand, I'm like, it's a fairly straightforward narrative, which helps. And you get to see a little bit of the mythology around everything, but it doesn't like beat you over the head with it. Right, and I always think there's a difference between like recommending someone spend $17.95 to see a movie and someone spending $1 at a Redbox. It's
right,
like
exactly.
That's nothing, and that's fine, and it's like it's a movie that's not going to. If it's not going to like upset me, then I'm perfectly fine spending $1. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it's absolutely worth a Redbox rental.
Right.
Of course, Logan Lucky. I love the hell out of that movie.
I need to see that.
It's so good. It's absolutely Ocean 7-Eleven. It's fantastic. I think it's great. I really enjoyed it. I really did.
Yeah.
Just trying to see what else. Of course, It. We cannot talk about this year without talking about It.
Yeah.
Not just because of the box office numbers it did, but because it was good.
Yeah.
It was damn good. In a year where we got 2 Stephen King movies, and one was a colossal disappointment to a lot of people, and the other was just nobody saw how big this thing was going to be.
What was the other one?
The Dark Tower.
Oh yeah, that's right. I never saw that.
And I don't give a damn what anybody says. I liked it.
I need to watch it. It's on digital yet? Or?
Oh yeah, it's been out for a while.
Oh okay, yeah, I'll do.
I liked it. That's another one I would say Redbox. Now, I caution, if you were a huge fan of the books, don't.
Well,
Do
no,
not.
the book was okay. I'll rent it on Amazon or something.
It's because it's nothing like The Gunslinger. It has very, like, they are 2 wildly different things.
I'm okay with that.
I enjoyed it. I liked it. I thought it was fun. And it's it's another one that I would say Redbox. It's worth the $1 and the time.
Yeah.
We had the Kingsman, The Golden Circle.
I gotta see that. Yeah.
Good. I loved it. I kind of liked American Made. It was a little slow for my taste.
That's the Tom Cruise movie?
Yeah.
Okay.
The one that wasn't the Mummy.
Yeah. Oh, you know what I watched? I watched that Scientology documentary.
Oh, the one that Going Clear?
Going Clear, and then I watched the A&E show.
Oh, the Leah Remini show?
Yes. Oh, I fell down a rabbit hole because that just...
It's fascinating, isn't it? That these people are just absolutely insane.
Fascinating and scary, and
yeah.
It makes you look at religion and everything else.
It puts things like the Branch Davidian in perspective, where you start to understand cults a lot more, and it kind of terrifies you a bit.
Oh, it was terrifying the way that they treated their families and everything else. And she was so dead set. She's like, well, I just believed that was the thing that was gonna save the world. And like, and then she realized she couldn't speak to certain people. And like, well, how's Barb doing? You don't ask about their wife. Like, she's like, wait a second, she's a human being. Like, why isn't she here? You can't ask that. But she's a human being. And that was when she realized, like, oh shit, I'm involved in something really bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's wacky.
Yeah, it's oh yes, wacky as well.
That's for
Ooh.
sure.
I started joking with my friends. I sent them a link, and I was like, I think there's something to this. They're like, what?
There you go. That's how you scare the hell out of your family. So
Yeah.
this guy L. Ron Hubbard had some pretty neat ideas.
Oh, I hate his rubbery lips. Like, oh my god, that guy's such a weird
Oh,
dude.
it's oh man.
Oh man, but when I saw yeah, so like yeah, it's just that's so fascinating because I was telling my friend, I was like, well, we can go get our e-readers and get checked out to see how many whatever we have, and like I started explaining what they believe in, and he's like, you're just making this up.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, Xenu is the supreme leader, and I was like, what the fuck? It's nuts. But anyway, sorry, I mean derail.
So on this last episode of We Geek podcast, because they're going to be coming for us now.
That's what I don't understand. Like, okay, real fast side note. I forgot. Oh, where did I hear this? It was a podcast where someone was talking about working with Tom Cruise. And they were going to write something or do something. Next podcast, remind me. I'll do some research and find out. Try to remember who I was talking about. But they were doing something with Tom Cruise. They were writing a movie or they were doing something, and they showed up late to this thing where they were going to pitch something to Tom Cruise. And they said Tom Cruise grabbed them, said, "Hey, come with me," walked him into a room, sat there for about 15 minutes and lectured him about being prompt and being on time and all of this other stuff and how the world works, blah blah blah. And at the very end, he just like he goes, I'm gonna snap my fingers and we're gonna get this done. He snaps his finger and he said he put a big smile on his face and was like, "Are you ready to make a movie?" And he walked back up with them or whatever. And I was just like, it explains how crazy he is.
Well, and here's the other thing though. So many people who work with him come away talking about like he's just a consummate professional.
Well, that's what it was.
And
that's what it was.
And that's the idea of like he is so precise in everything.
But that's what Scientology is, though. It's to become perfect and to get rid of all of this stuff. And so like that's where I saw the similarities. I was like, it makes sense why he's such a perfectionist, and everything he does, everything has to be right. He has to be the guy who does the stunt work. He has to make sure that every scene is correct. And you know what? That's great in a lot of aspects of life. There's a part where it goes too far.
Yeah.
And so I thought that was fascinating. He was like, and he wasn't turned off. He was like, no, that was legitimately my fault. I was late, and I got lectured about it. It was surprising, but at the same time, he couldn't get over how charming he was.
Yeah, that's where people like Ted Bundy
you know who
get
it
you.
was? Oh my God, you know who it was? I'm thinking of Russell Brand. That's who it was.
Really?
Russell Brand. They did a movie together.
Russell Brand was only 15 minutes late?
Whatever. I think that's... I'm trying to think. I believe it was Russell Brand.
That's like 5 hours early for him, isn't it?
Yeah, but like he dragged him away and was like, "You got it." I could be remembering it wrong, or remembering my interviews wrong, but I think it was Russell Brand when they did that rock and roll movie or whatever.
Oh, Rock of Ages.
Yes.
I was gonna say, I was like, what the hell movie did Russell Brand and Tom Cruise do?
And he was like, and then one day he showed up to the set, and Tom Cruise was like, "Guess what? We have a monkey in the movie now, and you're gonna be in a scene with him." And Russell Brand's like, "What?" Apparently, there's a monkey in the movie.
Okay, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Why not?
So I don't know, but anyway.
But we also had Blade Runner 2049, and I don't know how to feel about it.
I've heard a lot of people say they're afraid to say they did not like it, or that it was overhyped.
I'm not afraid to say I did. It was way overhyped. I have no problem saying that.
I didn't see it.
You know, I just don't know. Like, I loved parts of it, and I loved the idea of it, but by the end of it, I don't mean at the ending. I mean, like, by the time I'm done watching it, I was like, I'm just not sure I needed that.
Is it style over substance?
Yes, but
it looks like it's dripping with style.
It's got style out the wazoo, but I'm just not sure. But also, you got to remember, I'm not a massive Blade Runner fan.
I still got to see the first one.
I'm not. Oh, okay. You take the crown.
Because I don't remember anything from the first one.
That's fair. But it's not as high concept as the first one. The first one is very into itself by its own nature, which is fine. You do you. The second one is not so much.
Yeah.
It tries to be, and I think that's where I found my problem was like it is trying so hard to be like the original in that respect that it just doesn't it doesn't hit it.
Yeah.
I think that was where I had my big problem with it.
Apparently he's got an idea for a third one, but I don't know if...
I'm not sure.
I don't know how this one ends, so don't say anything. I don't know if Harrison Ford kicks the bucket or not, but I don't know if he would be down for another one. I figured this was his last one. But don't tell me. So
There's interesting... I mean, they could do anything with the third one, because they could do anything with the second one. And I mean, they went... there's...
That's true.
If you didn't see the first one, I don't know how much you're gonna miss if you just jump right into the second one. And I think that also is kind of a problem.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Yeah, it's like you're definitely gonna miss some stuff because he's in it and there are connections and callbacks and whatnot. But outside of him and another like character or two, not a lot of I don't know if there's enough of a connection where like you have to, at least in a narrative aspect. Now I don't know about like a philosophy or a theme aspect, but in a narrative aspect, you don't really have to have watched the first one.
Okay.
Which is kind of, again, I think that's another part of the problem with it.
Okay. Is there any other movies you want to talk about before we get into games?
Yeah, real quick, because I was so surprised at how much I enjoyed Happy Death Day. I really freaking love that movie.
Happy Death Day? What's that?
It's basically a horror version of Groundhog Day. And when you say that, it sounds stupid. And
I remember you talking about this. That's right.
Because I was like, oh, this is just like, it was totally a Movie Pass thing because I was like, I'm just going to watch everything. And I went in there expecting very little. I thought, I don't know, I may actually walk out of this because it seems kind of stupid. By the end of it, I thoroughly enjoyed that movie. That, to me, was one that completely came out of left field. I was like, oh my god, this was actually really good.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I gotta see that.
Yeah, I saw Marshall the other day, and it was phenomenal.
Oh, okay.
It's so weird having Chadwick Boseman and Josh Gad discussing a potential rape case, because I'm like, oh, there's Black Panther and Olaf practicing law. It's so weird. And I mean, I'm pretty sure we talked about everything else. Thor Ragnarok, of course. I mean, come on. And then Star Wars, and I'm pretty sure it's it. Well, I mean, Justice League, but I think we said enough about Justice League to last a while.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I think that's pretty much everything. The Disaster Artist was really good, and I hate saying that now. But, you can't argue when a good movie's a good movie. But go see The Greatest Showman instead. Like, it's fun. It's happy. It's a good time.
Yeah.
So, but I think that pretty much covers it for movies.
Once I get my movie pass back.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into some games here. Some runners up to the ones that I thought were great were have you ever played Shovel Knight?
Yes. Shovel
Knight is so good. They released like a expansion, or you can play it by itself, called Spectre of Torment, and it was so good. It was so good. It was so much fun. More games like this. I want to see more and more Shovel Knight. And there's so many games on the Switch this year that have come out prior that now have come out again. And this was one of them, but it was like the deluxe edition. I think it was like $25 or something. It wasn't that bad, but it was all of Shovel Knight and like 3 expansions, and Spectre of Torment was one of them, and it was so good.
Nice.
So much fun. A runner-up for me was Horizon Zero Dawn. Did you play this at all this year?
I've played a chunk of it. I still have it, and I want to finish playing it. I loved what I played so far.
It was fun. The action was cool. I liked seeing the robotic dinosaurs. That was different. But it just felt like a big open-world game to me. And
that's fair.
Oh, there's only like one other open world game on this list, and it just the other one beat it to me just so much more. I didn't get back to Horizon Zero Dawn. I don't know if I will. But I mean, I guess I will because I have a digital, and I'm sure I'll be bored one day and be like, I'm going to pick this up again. But it's just there's nothing drawing me back like there is a lot of these other games. And that's the thing, like, you know me, I have ADD, like in real life, ADHD. I can't pay attention to stuff. I will play a game for a few hours and immediately be like, I need to do something else. And usually that is do something, play something else, watch something else, whatever. But I can't stay focused on it for that long unless it really hooks me. And something that really did hook me was Mario Odyssey.
Nice.
Because I played it through in maybe a few weeks. I just beat the game. Now I'm trying to get all of the moons, all of the different worlds, it feels great. That's probably the most polished game I played this year. With the moons and all the different outfits you can get and the hats and everything else and all the little mechanics in the world, and then the game really starts to open up when you beat it and you go to a few other lands and and then a lot of the other puzzles in the game that you played before are different or harder, and there's other ways to get it. So I don't know, it's a really fun game. If you have a Switch, you need to get it.
Nice.
And one game that really surprised me was Steam World Dig.
Okay.
2. Have you ever played the first one?
No, I haven't.
And this did, like, on the Switch, I don't know how much it sold on Steam, but there was, like, an article saying, like, oh, by the way, this is how much it sold on, so Steam World Dig 2 sold 10 times more on Switch than it did Steam and PlayStation combined.
Wow.
And that just tells you how people on the Switch are just clamoring for these kind of games. But it's like a Castlevania game, and you're digging, and it has that but it's not generated. You know what I mean? It is very much like someone sat down and programmed these how far down you go and what you run into, and you know what I mean? Like, it's not just randomly generated.
Right, I got you.
Yeah, so you're digging down, and you only have a certain amount of life, and you need to make sure that you get a torch, and then when you get to the torch, and then it opens up again, and then you might have 20 minutes until you need to find another torch. And in the meantime, you are collecting things, bringing it back up to the top, and it's a really fun. It's one of those games where you don't have to think about it. Like, you get off work, and you're like, well, I could play something, but I don't want to play, like, a giant RPG. It's like, you could play, what's the car game with the soccer ball? Rocket League. You're just like, I just want to play something just to turn my brain off and have a little bit of fun. That's exactly what this is. So that I loved it. I loved that. By the way, Rocket League on the Switch is amazing.
Good, it better be.
Absolutely. So much fun. And I love that it was like you're choosing cars, and it was like, you could be Mario. I'm like, whoa! And then when you jump, it makes the Mario jump noise.
Does it boing?
Yep, it goes boing. It has the stars that come out the back. You put the Mario hat on, and depending on what side you're on, you're Mario or Luigi, it is perfect.
That's cool.
It is fantastic, and it's like $15 on the Switch. If you own a Switch, get Rocket League. Anyway, Wolfenstein New Colossus. It is a lot more of the last game. Love killing Nazis, and that was the best part about the game. I loved that the game went places that were so crazy story-wise, absolutely bonkers. And went to the point where Giant Bomb, in their Game of the Year, they had a category for best Wolfenstein moment. And so they picked like a top 10 or something like that, or top 3 Wolfenstein moments. So because it makes you do crazy things in the game. The gameplay, it's not the best first person shooter. Definitely not the best first person shooter I played this year. But it was really cool. And if you're in the mood to kill Nazis, that is the game to play. Mario Rabbids was such a surprise for me because I've never really played those XCOM type games, but I thought, a strategy Mario game, that could be fun, and it absolutely is. And all the different guns that you can get, and level up the guns, and Luigi, when you unlock him, he's a sniper, the best sniper in the game. He's crazy, he's cold-blooded. And the rabbit versions of like Peach and Luigi and stuff are just bonkers too. So that game is a ton of fun. If you have a Switch, you need to own that. Persona 5, one of the best RPGs I've ever played. I'm actually picked that back up in the last week. I have finally beat the first castle because I feel like such an idiot. For some reason, when I started this game, I thought, well, I want to platinum this game, and to do that, you gotta do it in hard mode. And so I now know why I stopped playing Persona so long ago. Because I'm sitting here beating my head to a wall for an hour, and I'm like, wait a second, I can't get past this spot. I'm in a dungeon, and you can't save in dungeons, so you always restart to the last place. There's safe areas you can save, so I always go back to the safe area, and I'm like, wait a second, I can change and I changed it down to just normal. Beat the first castle. I got so much further, and it really opened up, and I'm absolutely loving it. And one of the best games I played this year.
Nice.
Divinity Original Sin 2 on the PC is phenomenal. It is. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I was wondering when we were gonna get to this.
I love this game. I want to get back to it. I've put about 40 hours into it, and there's probably another 40 more. It is so bonkers. It is so, at the same time, old school PC, like Baldur's Gate type of stuff. Like you can, and every character has their own story, and that's the thing about this, is you can tell the creators spent so many hours plotting out every character's detail, every character's plot, because you can play as any of them, and you can, and if you don't play as them, you get them as your partners. And you have the Red Dragon character who is a prince, and he's like one of a kind, and he's a prince of his people, but he's been shunned, and like there's a cat that follows you around at the beginning of the game, and like there's just all this weird, and you try to save the cat, and like there's so much to go into with this. We probably need another segment of a show by itself, because I loved that there were just mechanics in this game that did not make sense in any other game, but when you do it, it's like, of course it would react that way. If you play as an undead person in the game, you don't heal by taking healing potion because that hurts you.
Right.
You want to drink up poison in the game. And so if someone hits you with poison something, your character's like, oh, this is great, I'm healing.
Yeah.
Like, tricks on you. And because you're a skeleton, you can unlock things in the game, and you don't have to have a thievery type skill, because your finger does it. And it's just, there's so many. And one of the best aspects of it is there is a dungeon master mode. It is a completely separate part of the game where a dungeon master can basically, he has a map, he creates a world. You can just, do the generic one or whatever, and you create your own story, and you put different things on the map for the people who play the game. And then, so you're the dungeon master, and then let's say you get 4 other friends, you're all on the same Discord server. They go into the game, and they have to roll dice, and you are playing Dungeons and Dragons. And instead of it being your own imagination, there's actual things in the game that you as the dungeon master created your own story for them to run across. So if they decide to open that door, do you have something behind it to kill them? Or did you trick them and there's actually good stuff in there? That's so awesome. That doesn't exist in any other game right now.
Nice.
They really are doing things that other game companies they're not doing. And I would love those kind of dungeon master modes. Speaking of which, PlayerUnknown's Battleground is probably my favorite game this year. If I could pick a game of the year, far and away, I've had the most fun playing PlayerUnknown's Battleground, which most people probably think I'm crazy. But it is, and I'll get to why Divinity Original Sin ties into that in just a second. But PlayerUnknown's, when I first saw it, I thought it looked like trash. I was like, this looks like shit. When I saw people play it, I was like, that looks like an old PlayStation 3 game. And so what it is, it's a mod of Arma. Arma is a precision shooter game. So Call of Duty is more like an arcade kind of shooter, like you die, you're back in, you're shooting, and you die, and you're back in, and you're shooting, and it's kind of what everyone now knows as like regular first-person shooters like Halo. Where Arma is a precision shooter. There is bullet drop. The attachments really drastically changed the way the gun works in a realistic way. And when you shoot, it's not just a hitbox. Like it hits you. You can hear the way the bullet comes at you if you're wearing headphones. The way the blood splatters, it splatters in the right direction. You have to take all of that into consideration. So PlayerUnknown's, it was a mod of Armada. That's how it started. It was a mod of Armada, of Arma, and they created. And then what they did is they took things that I forget the other game that they branched off of. That was like a survival game, and they took out the elements where you had to craft things, which was the boring part of the game. And they basically said, well, let's have a big map. We will drop 100 people into it, and it will be a battle royale mode. And so it will be you versus everyone else, or it will be you and a teammate versus everyone else in a duo type system, or a squad system where there's 25 teams of 4 people, you know?
Yeah.
And so that, and you, even with knowing all of that, when I saw it, I was like, that looks like trash. I'm terrible at first person shooters. I'd never get into anything like that. That does not look like my kind of game. I will die immediately. And oh my God, it's fucking addicting as hell. It is so addicting. It is the highs in that game are higher than any high that I've had playing a video game or a lot of other things. It is because when time after time you're getting killed at, when you first start, you're getting killed. You don't know where to fly in. You're getting killed almost immediately. Oh, and the other thing is that the map, every few minutes this circle gets closer and closer to a certain spot on the map, and so you have to kind of gradually make your way towards that spot. Sometimes you're lucky and you land right there and you don't really have to move that much, and you just kind of so you land on the island, you grab everything you can, and you want to get your scopes. The beginning of it, you want a shotgun, because if you're running, you're going through the house, you want something for close encounters. Towards the end of it, if you're in a top 10 scenario, you need a scope. They have the 2x scope, 4x scope, 8x scope. You need a good scope. Stuff like that. And so it got so addicting because I was dying at 43. Then I was dying at like 24. And then I was constantly getting in a top 10 scenario. And then I finally got the chicken dinner. And it is what I imagine people who play Dark Soul feel when they beat those games. It is just so rewarding when you beat out 100 other people. And it doesn't matter. And you can do it by sitting in a tub. And somehow lucking your way into it. And that's the thing, is anyone can win this game. Anyone literally can win this game, because you could be one of the last people, but that other guy has no health. He just got in a fight. He has nothing on him, and you shoot him and kill him, and you could be the winner of the game. So that's what's intriguing about it, is anyone can do it. And I was so addicted to it, and I played it with a bunch of friends, and I've gotten people, they bought PCs because of it. And this thing is not just me. Like you look at the numbers, it has outbeat Dota, you know what I mean, for consecutive people playing it. It has 30 something million people bought it this year. And it just came out on, technically, the 1.0 came out at the very end of December.
Yeah.
It's out on Xbox right now. Here it's not running too good, even though they just had a patch done to it. But if you own an Xbox, you need to buy this game and try it, just to try it. And if you have a PC, this is a no-brainer. This thing, in the next few years, you're going to see a dozen spin-off games. And the reason why I was talking about Divinity Original Sin, because I would love if they did this mode, but there was a game master. And everyone actually had to survive. And there was the countdown timer. There was a 20-minute timer. And the trick is for everyone to survive. But there is a game master in there, and he is controlling the weather. He's putting zombies on the map. But your goal is to help everyone survive. So imagine that. 100 people on a map, but the goal is to make it out alive.
Interesting.
But there's one person. speaking over the speakerphones or whatever in the game, like on the island, and you hear them on the island, like, and it says like, part 2 opening up or whatever, like straight up battle royale or like Hunger Games. That's the future. That's what's going to come from these games. And I think that would be really cool. Some other games that I played this year real fast. Zelda Breath of the Wild, probably my number 2 game. That game I just absolutely loved. I loved it. And I've talked about it before. Anywhere you go in the game, you can look into the distance and you see something and it's there and you put it on your map and then you make your way to that. When you get there and you look into the distance, there's something else there. Everywhere you go in the game, there is something to find, something to see, and it makes you explore and it makes you create your own map. So in a way, instead of Ubisoft dropping a million things on your map, you're creating your own map. You feel like an explorer. I don't know if that's been done in an RPG before, but it's felt so good to play that.
Nice.
Yeah, it's been really fun playing that. Sonic Mania, so much fun. If you've played the first few Sonic games and that's your Sonic, go buy this game.
Excellent.
Yeah, and I don't know if there's anything else. What have you played this year?
Not much, from this year at least. WWE 2K18, which, for me, it's just I play for me. I don't have
right.
I don't do online. I don't do any of that. It's just something to throw on and say, oh, I want to have fun and screw around and do whatever. Destiny 2 was this year.
Okay.
Which kind of lets you know of like, oh yeah,
right.
You haven't really played a whole lot.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you know what? I'll say this about Destiny. I had a lot of fun playing it, and I beat the raid. I absolutely loved it, but that's where that game ends.
Yeah.
And I've had no desire to go back. And
No.
for what it was, I had fun. But I think it was this reality of, oh, this is not like an ongoing game. They don't actually want it to be that. Maybe they do, but the way that the decisions they make did not.
It doesn't back that up at all.
Yeah, it doesn't back that up at all. So I feel like I've wasted my money getting the whatever edition with the 2 expansions, because the first expansion was an hour long.
Yeah, it was nothing. Yeah, it pissed off a lot of people.
Yeah. So so I haven't gone back to that, but that's been.
This was kind of fighting game syndrome for me of like, I played the story, I loved the story, and now I'm just done with it. Same thing. Same thing with Battlefront 2. I enjoyed this. I actually liked the story. And they had I think it was a DLC pack that came out.
I haven't finished it.
I liked the story because it tells her whole story from where you first meet her to wherever it is she winds up.
When I was playing Luke and I was killing all of these things jumping at me, and I'm like, this is going on forever.
That's hard. That's a slog that shouldn't have been through there. But I mean, that's definitely the low point of the campaign. So if you get,
it gets better.
If you get through that, it does get better. There is a segment with Han that is kind of disappointing.
Yeah.
It's a little more explore than action.
I hear he's got his beard. And
he does.
That's cool because that was in the book.
The look is great. I love the character model.
Yeah.
It's fantastic because he looks, he's however many a handful of years older, and he does have like the full beard and everything. It's a good look for him.
In that time frame, it was sort of around the time where him and Chewie went off to go save Kashyyyk.
Yeah.
Because they weren't legally allowed to do that, and he grew out his beard. I remember that from the book, so I'm glad they put that in the game.
And that ties into it. Like that's kind of part of his mission there.
Yeah.
And it's good. And because the expansion or whatever it is that came out, Resurrection, is set during The Force Awakens.
Yeah.
And it's her story told around this time, and I enjoyed it. I like the story. Yeah, the part with Luke is tough. It's just because it's just annoying as hell.
Well, let me say this. I actually really enjoy playing the multiplayer with my brother. I don't care about I don't care about progression in the game.
Yeah.
Which sucks because I should care, and that should be a big part of the multiplayer. That's terrible. I absolutely hate that. The only thing the game has going for it for me is that it's Star Wars and that I can play with my brother, and that sucks. Like, I want a good progression because I'll play Call of Duty all day long, and that's not Star Wars. And the progression in that is so much better. It actually makes me like, well, shit, I want to unlock this gun. I want to unlock that. I can get a bounty to unlock this and do this, and I just got to get 10 kills with that gun. And then Battlefront doesn't have any of that, and I have no reason to play that game except because it's Star Wars and I can play with my brother.
Yeah.
That sucks.
I mean, that's an absolutely fair criticism.
Yeah. And so I think that game is just, it's been the biggest disappointment for me this year, because when I went to Celebration and they talked about, it was like, oh shit, they had a checklist of everything that the fans wanted, and little did we know.
And we didn't really get that at all.
How embarrassing. Egg on my face.
But I mean, I think that's, between that and Horizon Zero Dawn, and I don't know, that might, Injustice, and maybe that's it.
Justice is good. One more game I want to shout out is Golf Story. If you have a Switch,
I was wondering when you were going to get to that. Yeah,
it's on my list. I don't know why I missed it. I talk too much about PlayerUnknown's because it's sitting there right behind Zelda.
Yeah.
Golf Story was just so good. Most of these games, by the way, I didn't finish. I still have to finish. So these are like my top games that I played that I liked, but probably one day we'll finish. And Golf Story is one of them. Golf Story is so cool. It's so awesome. I love how obsessed they are about golf. How golf just like well, I can't do that today. I gotta go play golf. Like, they just put the whole world revolves around golf, like Pokemon revolves around Pokemon, where it doesn't make any sense logically, because it's like, well, you can't just spend your whole life going around collecting animals. Well, just like you should, but in this game, it goes places, because you're a kid. Suddenly it's like fast forward like 20 years, and you wake up and you get a call, and it's this woman, and you can't tell if it's your mom or your girlfriend, because she's like, your boxes are over here, you need to get your stuff out of the house. Then you realize, oh, it's your ex or something like that. And he has this well, she's like, so what have you been up to? And he's like, well, I'm getting back into golf. And she's like, well, what? You're getting back into golf? You can tell that was why they split up. Anyway, it goes places. I had a lot of fun. And then his whole life revolves around golf, and it's like this Super Nintendo golf game. And it's really fun. It's a ton of fun that I want to eventually finish.
Nice.
Yeah. But I think that's it. I played a ton of other games. That's all. That was where my time revolved around last year, and I think it'll be way more movies this year because of the Movie Pass. I'll be able to enjoy that a little bit more.
Yeah, there you go. Go see Coco. And it's taking you forever.
I know. When I get my Movie Pass back, maybe I'll just spend money and see it. Who knows? But yeah. So anyway, that is it. We will be back next week. Make sure you go to our iTunes, give us a review. Make sure you go to our Facebook group. Make sure that you go to YouTube, because that's where we're posting these now. So if YouTube is how you want to listen to this, the episode will be up on YouTube. Make sure you go to our Twitter at the Logan Witt, at Adam Esep, at We Geek Podcast. And shoot us an email, wegeekpodcast@gmail.com. And we'll see you next week, Captain.